Androgynous models are becoming more and more popular in the fashion industry, as big fashion houses are casting them in men and women's wear campaigns. Here is a picture of Rain Dove, an androgynous model featured in a menswear campaign. And here is Rain Dove, featured in a women's wear campaign. So here, Rain Dove is exhibiting two different genders at two different points in time. Rain Dove is quoted on NBC News saying, "When I model, I don't model as a man or as a woman. I model as just me in this body. I'm just trying to fit an artistic aesthetic." So she is thus suggesting that exhibiting a gender is not her primary goal. In Doing Gender, West and Zimmerman write that to do gender is not always to live up to normative conceptions of femininity or masculinity. It is rather to engage in behavior at the risk of gender assessment. This idea is applicable to androgynous models today, as although they flip between showcasing male and female clothing, and thus do not display a continuous normal gender ideal or look, they are still being assessed by gender and through a gendered lens. Thus, androgynous models are still being compared to gender as to what gender they are displaying at a certain point. West and Zimmerman also talk about the difference between being unfemale and being unfeminine. This is also applicable to androgynous models today, as they can lack being either unfeminine or unmasculine, yet they are never unfemale or unmale. So androgynous models clearly display the difference between sex and gender. Here is another example of an androgynous fashion campaign featuring actress Tilda Swinton. She was the face of both the men and women campaigns for Pringle. She is a woman and a female and has never not been that, but she has also never been particularly feminine. However, West and Zimmerman also say that people should display a behavior that can be identified as showing one of two genders, male or female. This concept cannot be applied to androgynous culture in the fashion world today because androgynous models do not display behavior that can be related to a gender. Due to displaying both male and female behaviors, a gender cannot be identified or guaranteed by them as it changes. So, in fact, concepts from Brubaker's Ethnicity Without Groups can better explain androgyny in this case. Just as ethnicity is explained to be an event that can change over time and can be more or less significant, so can gender. The gender performed by androgynous models is variable, but not fixed. Today, the fashion world is exhibiting a move away from separate and distinct genders, yet in the 20th century, this was not the case. The co-founder of international fashion house, Proenza Schuler, speaks about this succinctly when she said in an interview with Vogue magazine, "Nobody cares anymore. The distinction between man and woman is disappearing, aesthetically at least. As a designer, you reflect the culture, and this is a big facet of our culture right now." So, androgyny is becoming very much a part of the fashion world today. Doing Gender by West and Zimmerman illuminates this idea by their differentiation between sex and gender, female and femininity, male and masculinity. However, androgyny refutes West and Zimmerman's argument, as androgyny shows that gender can be fluid, change over time, and that people can display behavior that is identified to neither gender exclusively. Brubaker's text, Ethnicity Without Groups, is, however, applicable to this point.